All right, here we are again on day 2 for Unit 11. Today we're going to be talking about the distributive property a little bit, and then double distributing. So the distributive property from earlier on this year was when we took a monomial on the outside and we multiplied it into every term on the inside. So the distributive property definition, they usually use these letters. So we'd have A times B plus A times C. In words, we're multiplying everything on the outside by everything on the inside. Or I should say, we'll go each term. On the inside. So when we do these examples here, 2 times 3 would give me 6. X times x is x squared because you'd get 1 plus 1 for your exponents up top. And then 2 times 1 is 2. And then x times no x's, it's just an x. So that'd be your answer. So that's a quadratic binomial. The second one, if we multiply it in, we'd get negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. The y's, if we add them together, would give me 6 because 2 plus 4 gives me 6. The numbers, when we multiply them, we get plus 12. And if we add the y's together, I believe that's 4. And then if we multiply the negative 4 and 2, we get negative 8. And the y squared times no y's just is a y squared. So that was our distributive property that we learned last semester. Now we're going to add to that, and we're going to do what's called double distribute, which means that we're going to multiply 2 terms by 2 terms. So there's going to be 2 terms in front by 2 terms in back. So with this kind of distribution, we're going to have to distribute this first term by both terms and the second term by both terms. So step 1 is multiplying the first term times the first term. So the first term and each binomial are going to be multiplied by each other. So that'd be 3x times 2x. In the end, that would give me 6x to the second power, because 1 plus 1 gives me 2 to the second power. And then we multiply the first term times the second term. So that would be 3x times 7 is 21x. The next step would be to multiply the second term now times the first term. So the second term is negative 5. The first term is 2x. So we'd get negative 10x there. And then the last step would be to multiply the second term times the second term. So everything in the first term is multiplied by everything in the second binomial. So everything in the first binomial is multiplied by everything in the second. And what is that? Negative 5 times 7. So now it says final answer. If we put all this together, we get 6x squared plus 21x minus 10x minus 35. I do notice that the 2 middle terms are actually like terms, so I can add those together. So if I added 21 minus 10 together, I'd get 11 in the middle, because we're always supposed to combine like terms. So this would be my true final step, all simplified out. And that turns into, in this case, a quadratic trinomial, which you guys learned about a couple units ago. All right, let's go to the next page. Do some more of these. All right. So these are the single distribute property ones. So we'll just do the odd ones for this page, and then we'll get to the double distribute. So if we do the single distribute, That just means we're going to multiply that single term, or that monomial, by the binomial. So there's one term on the outside by two terms on the inside. So that's 1 times 2. So that means we should get two different terms at the end. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. X times x is x squared. So that's my first multiplication. Then 3 times 5 is 15. And then x times no x is just 15x. That'd be a quadratic binomial if we were talking about the names. The next one, if we multiply it in the odd, that'd be negative 3 and x. Since that's a 1, that'd be 1 plus 2 would give me 3. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. X squared times no x's would be 9x squared. So that would be my answer there. That would be considered a cubic binomial because the biggest degree I see is a 3. Number 5, if I multiplied that single term by all three terms now, that would give me 14 because 2 times 7 is 14. If I added the exponents together, that'd be x to the 4th plus 4 x to the 3rd, and then minus 6 x and x, if I add them together, would give me x squared. And that would be a quartic trinomial, according to our vocabulary that we learned 2 units ago. And the last one, multiply that by all three, and we get 12x to the 3rd, because we're supposed to add exponents, minus 9x to the 2nd, and then plus 21x. There's no exponents to add there. Just multiply the coefficients. So that'd be a cubic trinomial. I think that covers all the single multiplications in. So now let's do the double distributes, because those are the ones that you haven't seen yet. This page should have been a review for you. All right, so here's the double distribute ones. So for number 9, if we double distribute, that means we're going to multiply this x that's out front by both terms, and then this 5 that's in the back by both terms. So the x multiplied by the x would give me x squared. X times 4 gives me 4x. 5 times x gives me 5x, and 5 times 4 gives me 20. And I always try to combine like terms if I can. Those two middle terms can combine. 4 plus 5 gives me 9. So I'm left with x squared plus 9x plus 20. The next one, if I multiply the same way, the first term by both, the second term by both, it's going to be very similar to this first one that we just did. So we get x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 12. When you multiply a negative times a negative, it turns out to be positive. And then if I combine like terms, I get x squared minus 7x plus 12 in the end. And that'd be a quadratic trinomial as well. Number 11, a little bit tougher because this 2 is out front. So we take the 2 and multiply by both. And this negative 5 and multiply it by both. So we'd be left with 2x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 15. And if we combine like terms, I'm going to be left with 2x squared minus x minus 15. That would be my answer for 11. And then 12, I'd multiply my first term by both and my second term by both. And I'd get 6y to the second plus 9y plus 16y plus 24. And then if I combine like terms, I'd get 6y squared plus 25y plus 24. That'd be my answer for 12. I'm going to skip 13. Let's go to 14. 14, if I multiply the first term by both and the second term by both, I'd get 100r squared minus 40r plus 40r minus 16. If we notice those middle terms, we'll cancel each other out. One's got a positive, one's got a negative. So I'm left with 100r squared minus 16 because those middle terms canceled. All right, we got 2 more. Number 15, if we multiply by both and the 5 by both, we get x to the 4th power because 2 plus 2 gives me 4. And then x squared times negative 1 is negative 1x squared. And then 5 times x squared is plus 5x squared. And then 5 times negative 1 is minus 5. If I combine like terms, I get x to the fourth plus 4x squared minus 5. And that would be my final answer after I combine like terms. And then the last one that we're going to do is 16. You multiply the first term by both terms and the second term by both terms. So we're going to get 6x squared because x times x would be 1 plus 1 for the exponents. The outermost term, so the first term times the last term would give me negative 9 because 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. X times y, we can't combine those, so we just put them next to each other alphabetically. The middle 2 would give me 5 times 2 is 10, and then that's also x times y, so I just put it alphabetically down. And then my last terms multiplied by each other would be minus 15. Y times y gives me y squared. And then I look to see if there's any like terms I can combine, and I think the middle ones I can. They both have an xy. So negative 9 plus 10 is 1. So this would be my answer, 6x squared plus xy minus 15y squared. That's a quadratic trinomial. That's all we have for today. That's the multiplying binomials. I'll see you tomorrow.